Hello race fans, Peter Mackay here, welcoming you to Lime Rock Park for round 7 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Joining me in the commentary box tonight is my esteemed Texan colleague, Austin Knight, and bringing you all these wonderful graphics and pictures is Marco Barbanera. Austin, we've been blessed with some excellent action in the Ricmotech paddock over the last couple of weeks. How are you feeling heading into this GT4 and TCR contest?
Well, the Sports Car Series is very unique because TCR and GT4s are very close in speed comparison, and it's going to bring a lot of fight out of these guys here at Lime Rock Park. And one thing very important, traffic is going to be very hard. Last week with the Ricmotech Classic Sprint Series, we saw the MX-5s and Mustangs go at it. They had a very easy time going through traffic, but with these cars being so close to performance, it's going to be a absolute cluster here out on Lime Rock Park. So traffic going to be a big talking point here today.
It certainly is. So thanks to our sponsors, Ricmotech Racing Simulators. here's a little look around this wonderful Lime Rock Park circuit.
Welcome, everyone, to Lime Rock Park, located here in beautiful Lakeville, Connecticut. It's great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today around the tight confines of this 1.5-mile road course. Designed by John Fitch, Lime Rock was constructed all the way back in 1956, and it is the third oldest road course in America. The course is unique as there's no grandstands here. The fans just sit up on the hillsides or on the grass along the course and enjoy the incredible racing here at Lime Rock. The course has seen minimal changes over the years and has been raced by legends like Sam Posey and Paul Newman. The course still hosts major events to this day, of course, and is one of the greatest road courses here in the U.S. Well, let's head up the front straightaway. We notice our pit area to the right, and there are no grandstands to the left. As we mentioned, at most courses you'll see that, but not here. Those fans can just sit right up by the fences there and watch the races, get a close-up shot of the action. As we come down into turn one here, there's actually two corners here, 1 and 2, double right-hander. We're going to come up, swing into the only left-hander here at Lime Rock, turn 3. Stay tight left here to get that nice track out for turn 4, which will bring us right up onto the backstretch. No name straight, they call it. It's a short one. Right back down into braking here for the chicane of 5, 6, and 7. And then up through 6th, out of 7. And this will take us to turn 8 here, which used to be turn 6, but since the new chicane is added, they've added a couple of numbers here to the corners. And this will bring us down to turn 9, the downhill into this very fast final corner that brings you out onto the front straightaway, which is Sam Posey Straight. This will bring you across the start-finish line, and there's your track guide for the beautiful Lime Rock Park. Thank you for being with us.
So there you are then. That is the way around this tight and twisty little Lime Rock Park circuit. And of course, there are a number of layouts that you can use here at Lime Rock Park. But today we are using the IMSA WeatherTech Championship layout, which is the one with the little chicane around the back straight. So that's going to be an interesting point, I think, Austin, because you mentioned traffic there. And that is where I'm sure we're going to see a couple of incidents because it just gets so tight into that chicane at the back part of the circuit.
Yeah, that chicane is extremely tight. You might see somebody try to go side by side heading into there, but it is so tight, it is almost suicidal to even attempt a move heading into there. Now, that might be the right spot to go for a lapped car overtake, but other than that, it is not advised.
So we're just about to head into our 10-minute qualifying session where the drivers have 4 laps to set their fastest time. And of course, here at Lime Rock Park, the overtaking opportunities in either class are really limited. So getting a good position on the grid here in both classes is going to be super important. But I think there's going to be a little bit of a crossover, I think, between the slower of the GT4 cars and the very quickest of the Audis. And Austin, every time we come back here to the sports car series here in the Ricmotech paddock, I always think back to that amazing race at Watkins Glen between the two Audi TCR cars. It will always stick in my memory, that's for sure.
I know how you're feeling, and that entire 20 minutes, I believe, is clipped on this channel, and it is probably the best racing that we've seen on all of iRacing because that battle was just classic all the way up to the end.
It certainly was. So we'll see who has got the pace here today. Well, we have the Wonder Kid Elvis Rankin in the GT4 class at the wheel of his Porsche. In the championship at the moment, Mike Dam is the man to catch in GT4. He's on 203 championship points as things stand. Elvis Rankin is on 198 and tied for second place with Aero Nom. So with with all those guys here tonight, it's going to be really, really close indeed. And then you've got to go all the way back to Jacob Beasley in fourth on 136 points. So very much top three guys in a dominant position in the championship. In the TCR class, it's equally close. We've got Matthew Warner leading the championship right now on 178 points, and Brandon Whitworth on 174. Not far behind them is Henderson Knox on 167. So those are the championship runners to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and it's not going to be very hard to see where they are because usually all these guys are always running in the top 5 or top 10 and always giving us a great show in the battling as our first times are coming in right now. Lime Rock Park, one of the shortest tracks on iRacing and probably the shortest track on lap time, 55 seconds. Average 55, 56 seconds on average lap time with both these cars.
Well, unless they go around Bristol, of course, that might not take as long.
Road courses. I forgot to be specific right now. I meant road courses.
Spot the pedantic Scotsman, eh? So
that'll be the man sitting right next to me. Thank you.
Yeah, that's me. So Elvis Rankin sets the initial pace with a 55.28, leading but from Carmen Martineau by just 200ths of a second right now, but Aeronom straight in with a 54.86, so he means business today, does the Estonian ace. But let's see if we can get Elvis Rankin over the line here. What can he do? Does he go quicker? A little.
He closed down 3/10 on Aeronom, but sitting in second place. And Travis Schwenke put down a stormer of a lap as well.
Certainly did. So we're riding on board with the Audi TCR, and I tell you what, Austin, these are strange cars to drive. Actually, they've got front-wheel drive, and they've got quite a lot of horsepower, quite a lot of torque, and the understeer is quite pronounced in these cars, and a real battle in the TCR field. So I suspect in this 60-minute race we might see the TCR guys taking front tires because they get a real punishment around here.
Yeah, those TCR cars, Top Gear said it best when they're trying to describe what understeer and oversteer is. Understeer is when front-wheel drives car, just you don't turn. Oversteer is when rear-wheel drives cars turn around and you fly into a tree and die.
Yep.
In all the scenarios, you do fly into a tree and die. Just one's you're facing forward, the other one you're facing backwards.
Yes, exactly, indeed. And it's something that I always find... I did actually own an Audi RS3 road car, and it understeers as well, actually, quite badly. Of course, the Audis, they typically have the engine mounted quite far forward in the car, and does make them understeer. The touring cars, I mean, the TCR car, I think any brand of TCR car will drive in that manner, but I think that's part of the challenge of driving these cars, because when you can get them on their tiptoes and you can get the car turning and you get that little bit of lift off oversteer and you cock the wheel round, it can be quite fun. And of course, they draft quite well too, so the racing is usually pretty tight in the TCR field.
Yeah, from one of the TCRs in real life, probably the best driving one has to be the Hyundai TCR, which I hope is coming to iRacing soon because that would bring a massive multi-manufacturer TCR class onto the grid, just like our GT4 class here on iRacing. But yeah, that Hyundai TCR is just very nimble, and talking with one of my friends, he just got promoted into the IMSA Michelin Pilot Series in his Hyundai TCR after a dominant season in the American TCR Championship this year.
Yeah, that was. Is that Tyler Maxson?
That is Tyler Maxson.
Ah, yeah. Well, I'm really excited to watch him in the
and his teammate.
And his teammate in the Michelin Pilot Challenge. Yeah, that'll be super cool. So, at the moment, look at this up at the top of the GT4 field. Elvis Rankin has put in a quick lap time, 54.609, and he edges Aeronom out by 43 thousandths of a second. Now, here is our buddy Kevin Ford at the wheel of his BMW M4. And Kevin, he's holding up the honour for Munich and for BMW today. Now, we were talking to Kevin before we came on air, and he was saying that this is not a track for the BMW. It's not as nimble as the Porsche. And it does have a lot of grunt. It does have a lot of straight line speed. But of course, here at Lime Rock Park, there's no room to let it go. But he said he was excited for next time out. In a few weeks' time, on the 2nd of November, the series goes to Mosport, which of course has a much more of a space for this BMW to roam. So he's looking forward to that. I think it's more a case of damage limitation for Kevin tonight.
Yeah, that BMW is it's a beefy boy, but unfortunately that Porsche just loves Sector 1 a little bit too much, so he's going to be on damage control, and I think he's just going to take what the series gives him, but I'm expecting Kevin to use some of his magic and get some magical overtakes going on today, and I'm predicting a top 7 for him.
Okay, let's write it down. I think he's got that in him as well. Of course, the Porsche Cayman has just got that lovely maneuverability, isn't it? It has the engine right in the middle. It's in that one. It is a 3.8 liter V flat six with about 425 horsepower, but mounted in the middle of the car, crucially, which makes it much more maneuverable than the BMW, which has a flat six. Straight six. My apologies. With two twin turbos in the front of the car, which just doesn't quite make it as easy to change directions. So, but when it's a real dragster, when you get it going, it's got some grunt. So, to give you an idea of the comparison in lap times, we have Andrew List on pole position in the TCR class in his Audi. He is sitting 56.65. Now, that's about 2 seconds a lap slower than the fastest of the GT4, but it's almost identical to the slowest of the GT4. So it's going to be fascinating how that plays out over the course of the race.
Yeah, they're going to be merged together. Note from race control that the starting spread is going to be very thin. Because it's Lime apart, they don't have a lot of space to spread out. We saw in the Classic Sprint Series that they had about half a track spread out at the start. I think they're going to try to do the same thing here at West Bend, which is where Elvis Rickett is going through right now, and not into the grass. That's the grass that he's in. Then Big Bend, but expect these guys to be going very soon, and that pit lane is going to be very tricky today, especially if these guys are going to be taking right side tires.
Yeah, it's going to be
left
fast.
side tires.
Left side, yes, of course. No,
I know my
what
rights
you meant.
from lefts again.
Right-hand corners, left-hand side tires.
Yes.
So yes, it's going to be fascinating. And we've seen in the last couple of rounds, of course, here in the Ricmotech paddock, we have 3 different series. We have the GT Challenge using GTLM cars. We have this one, the SportsCar series with GT4s and TCRs, and we also have the Classic Sprint series with the big Ford Mustangs and the little MX-5 Mazda Miatas. And we've seen it a couple of times, haven't we, Austin, in the last few weeks in various series where strategy plays have been really important. And that's Aaron Nom has made a couple of little strategy mistakes, and that's cost him some results. I'm sure that he'll be willing to set that right tonight.
Absolutely. Mistakes kill, and well, you just got to be a bit more consistent and mistake-free, and you'll find yourself up near the top of the race and in the top of the championship.
Indeed, of course. So, but don't forget about our Audi TCR battle. Of course, Audi have got quite a heritage here at Lime Rock Park. Back in 1989, none other than Hans-Joachim Stuck won the IMSA GTO race in one of my favorite ever cars, the Audi 90 Quattro IMSA car, which of course we have here on iRacing. And I've actually tried to relive Hans Stuck's experience, and that car, oh well, it's got so much power and so much turbo lag. You need someone of Hans Stuck's ability to get it around this little track. But he won the IMSA race back in 1989, and I tell you what, I love the sound of that engine in that Audi Quattro as well, Austin. That born in Group B rallying and then brought over here to race in the IMSA Championship. It was a special piece of kit.
It certainly is. I'm glad iRacing has it on their service because It brings back looks into the past when I was not even born yet, but it makes me just wish I was alive during that time to hear that thing in person. But to hear it in sim is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, the guys at iRacing have done a great job as whoop. Anthony Kernan goes for a wee bit of a spin there. Yeah, the guys at iRacing have done a super job to all the little whistles and rattles in that car. And yeah, the Audi Quattro. I haven't seen one in competition, but I've seen quite a few on demonstration runs, and they sound absolutely biblical in real life. They are amazing cars. So it looks like our grid is pretty much set. So we'll see. Looks like we're going to see Elvis Rankin on pole position with Aeronom right beside him, and Mike Dam in third. So, and of course we've got the form man.
Believe Peter, you there? All right. Well, Peter apparently had some unfortunate connection issues mid sentence right there. But Cameron Martin, who is sitting in fourth with Gibson in fifth. And the interesting thing I want to point out here, the gap between Mike Dan and Cameron Martin, who is 2 thousandths of a second, but the gap between Elvis Rankin and Aaron Nam is 4 tenths. And I believe Peter has joined us once again.
I'm sorry, I have absolutely no idea what happened there. I do apologise, folks. Just it just kicked me out of the broadcast room. But I'm back. I'm sure I'm sure I've just missed another piece of your wisdom, Austin.
It's just pointing out the gap between Aeronam and Mike Dam. That first row is on another level compared to the rest of the grid, but that second row is extremely tight with each other.
It certainly is. Yeah, I mean, well, 4 tenths of a second is that on a lap this short. That's significant. So, wonder if we'll see Elvis Rankin and Aeronom break away because, judging by the qualifying pace, looks like they might have the pace to do that.
Yeah, they definitely have the pace to pull away. 3 tenths a lap around here is extremely impressive. Because with such a short lap time, any small mistake is going to be greatly amplified. Because on a large track, you can make a small mistake here and there, and it won't, and you'll still be punished for it, but you still have that time to be good in other sectors. Here in Lime Rock Park, where it's just so few corners, so little of a length of track, you're going to have to be on your A game the entire time, as qualifying just has 30 seconds left. So we are just waiting for qualifying here for the Ricmotech Sports Car Series presented by Proforma Elite Texas Graphics. Uh, Here for the TCRs, and both are GT4 cars. Well, it's really just a Porsche here today because that maneuverability boost it has at Lime Rock Park. Only one BMW driven by Kevin Ford. As let's go onto the grid and go racing here at Lime Rock Park. Elvis Rankin takes pole, followed by Aeronam, Mike Dam, Cameron Martineau, Paul Gibson, Travis Schwenke in sixth place, followed by Colin Weatherholt, Trent Brown, Jennifer McDonald, Cameron Bidwell, Kevin Seaford, David Payton, Jacob Beasley, Jordan Feike, Arthur Chang, Chris Thorman, Anthony Kernan, and Steve Daniel in 18th. With Derek Holland, Chris Shieldsmith, Russ Ruddick in 21st at the end of our GT4 Pro grid. And let's bring up our qualifying for the TCRs. Eric Violette starting in second place. Andrew List takes pole with Brandon Whitworth in third, followed by Matthew Warner, Edgar Santinelli, Henderson Knox, and Bobby Childs at the end of the grid. There it is. And it was just a tenth of a second separating Andrew Liss and Eric Violet. So that TCR class going to be very tightly fought. Maybe we can have a bumper to bumper race throughout this tire race, and maybe there might be a little bit of traffic coming into play here as we're just waiting for the rest of the grid to hop on track as we go on to a rolling start formation lap here at Lime Rock Park for the Ricmotech Sports Car Series presented by Proforma Elite Texas Graphics here on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV.
Austin, if I may interject into the broadcast, hello everyone, by the way. Let me just say that behind the scenes, I'm really hoping for a great race for my personal hero, MX5 legend Bobby Childs. So let's hope it goes well for him.
Yeah, Bobby Childs, very active in our YouTube chat at the time. I think he'll be enjoying that right now. And I believe our good old buddy Peter has came back in a chat.
Well, sorry about that one, folks. If you've ever seen the film Train Spotting, where the guy's in the middle of the countryside and he talks about how bad it is to be Scottish, I feel like that right now. I feel like that right now because the internet connection just decided to drop at the worst possible moment. So that was me right now off camera. So apologies for that one, viewers. I could hear you. You were in perfectly capable hands with Austin, and that's why we make such a good team. But we're ready to go racing here at Lime Rock Park. Who's your pick for this one, Austin?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot and start placing bets. I'm very famous for being a non-biased person, so my personal favorite for this victory is going to be us. We're going to have a great time today.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy it, that's for sure.
Mike Dan. I'm going to have to say Mike Dan. Something's going to happen.
Well, I feel I should never bet against the wonder kid Elvis Rankin, but I think Aero Nom tonight, he's going to go have a score to settle for sure. I think he's going to be up for it tonight. But let's see how it goes. It's going to be really fun indeed. We wait for the Ford Mustang pace car to pull off. See the Orion Racing guys at the front there. Elvis Rankin on pole. He'll pace the field, waiting for the green flag. And we are go here at Lime Rock Park. They drag race down the Sam Posey Straight, down towards Big Bend. It's a whole gaggle of Porsche Caymans and just two BMW M4s. Elvis Rankin gets a very clean entry. Kevin Ford sticks the big BMW up there. Mike Dam, where's he gone?
He's going down low, big wiggle mid-corner, trying to hold it on to the inside of Aero Nom, but Aero Nom now has that inside line around the only left-handed turn right there, and he cuts off the nose of Mike Dan. Aero Nom stays in second place, but Mike Dan was very aggressive on that start. As let's look at our TCR field. Liz, Violet, Whitworth, our top three, racing into turn one.
Okay, great start indeed then from the GD4 guys, nice and clean. What we've come to expect here in the Ricmotech paddock.
And it looks like our GT4 cars have had an absolutely clean first lap. Nobody has been in an incident. Like, probably the only one would be Shieldsmith, Ruddick, and Holland, who have fallen off the back end just a little bit, but that might have just been a little bit of that chicane tomfoolery. But already one lap into it, Elvis Rankin has pulled out a second gap to Aero Nom.
He's in the mood. I think he's maybe angry that neither of us betted on him. I did say I thought it was silly betting against him. Well, he looks to be in. I tell you what, Austin, do you think Elvis Rankin gets quicker every week? Because it seems to me like he does.
I think so. I think you're onto something. You know, with age comes experience, but also with age comes speed and a little bit of recklessness at some times. But I remember the best time for development as a driver is between 12 and all the way up to 19 years of age. That's the best point of improvement, and he is smack dab in the middle of that age spot.
Yep, he's got it all in front of him. He's got a very bright future indeed, that's for sure. But he's gonna have to hold off Aeronom in the number 78 Porsche. But oh god, he's on a run so far. So back with the TCR guys then, as we see, oh, who's that going off? The number 449 of Knox in the Sunshine Autos. Well, he nearly sunshined that car. Oh, down in they go into turn 1, big bend. Oh, turn 1 and 2 actually, in fact. This is where the front-wheel drive car, you really got to fight the understeer, get the car twisting, get it turning. Oh, now
slow.
who's this off?
That's
Oh,
a
is that
44 of Shieldsmith.
Oh, Shieldsmith he's had an off. Oh, no. That's not what we like to see.
He's going to go wide here at the chicane. Very easy to do so. He's got that BMW right behind him and just missed that braking point, avoids that turtle curve, and just lets those two by. But yeah, that chicane is very tricky. And it's either you're approaching a little bit too fast, you just panic on the brakes a little bit, or you want to avoid that inside turtle shell, and yeah, you just don't want to hit that curb. Those curbs are very scary, especially in real life when you're driving a Skip Barber around here.
Yeah, those curbs, they're like mountains compared to a Skip Barber car, that's for sure. So look at Cameron Martineau. Well, his rich vein of form continues. He's right on the back. Championship leader Mike Dam, the quick Canadian. So he's right in the draft here, heading down the Samposi straight past the pits, down into Big Bend. This is good, where we're going to see the main opportunity for any passing maneuvers. But at the moment, the top four lining up sort of one by one right now. But Elvis Rankin puts in the fastest lap of the race. He's already down into the 54s, Austin. That is rapid at this stage of the race.
He's putting in qualifying laps.
Yeah.
Well, Elvis Rankin putting in a dominant performance here today as he goes through the chicane. And we're talking dominance. It's 5 laps into this race.
Yeah, give them a chance, Elvis. Brilliant stuff. Well, if you're new here to the Ricmotech paddock, if you're watching on the iRacing Esports Network, welcome. This is the man you're looking at on screen, Elvis Rankin. He has been so impressive. If you put him in a Porsche Cayman here in the SportsCar series, in a Miata in the Classic Sprint, or in his beloved Ferrari GT3 in the GT Challenge series. He is quick in all of them. And we've got one of the BMWs. Oh, that's Ruddock.
That's Ruddock.
Oh dear. Ruddock's found
spot.
himself. Oh, got to get that BMW out the way. That's not a good place to be.
Watch the minimap. Watch the minimap. Here comes Liston Violet.
Oh. Yeah, he's got going in just the nick of time.
This is a horror movie that Marco's producing right now, but he gets it just in time into the pit lane. Right?
Oh no. Oh my word. Oh, that was close.
I know it's the month of October, but that was a horror movie. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
that was honest panic just happened in the comedy booth.
So here's the onboard shot from Brandon Whitworth. He sees an M4 all of a sudden coming to, oh my word. Oh, that's not what you like to see.
Be glad you don't have race radio on right now. Or his driver radio, because some things were said. Oh, that was probably the most horrifying thing a driver could see. A car veering across the track right into you. And I don't know what's more scary, being the car that's veering across track or being the car that's driving towards that car veering towards them.
I think definitely Brandon Whitworth, because Ruddock's race is pretty much done already, but Brandon Whitworth is right in the battle behind Violet and List. There he is, the number 42 car, the kind of grey and blue accents, D2D Esports. I believe these lovely liveries on these 3 D2D Esports cars, I believe these will be Bobby Child originals, I suppose.
Yeah, I believe so. And ruling 95 gets a unsafe rejoin, but I believe he was just in the grass trying to get back into the pits, and then the iRacing new tire just kind of yeeted him across track. But we're glad glad it wasn't a actual penalty, because if that was, there might have been a few eyes pointed at race control and just be like, how?
Yeah, it's well, we know the guys in the race control here in the Ricmotech paddock are really on the ball. They make the decisions fairly and quickly. And well, Brandon Whitworth, he's put in a really quick lap there, 56.8, and then Warner 56.6. So they're lighting up the timing sheets in the TCR class. Riding aboard with Cameron Martineau, he's getting closer to Mike Dam in front. So really interesting battle at the front. Elvis Rankin now sitting about 1.4 seconds ahead of Aeronom.
That pace is slowing. His pace is slowing down.
Yeah, I think he's maybe gone. Yeah, I don't need to lay down qualifying laps every single time. But you look at the field there. I mean, he's still just nibbling little bits, bit by bit, out of Aeronom. But he just needs to keep doing that, and he'll be in a good spot. So. If you look on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see our STK Gaming Graphics overlay, which gives a great idea of where all the cars are on track. So the blue icons, they look like little M&Ms, don't they? The blue M&Ms, those are the GT4s, and the grey M&Ms, they are TCR cars. And as you can see, Elvis Rankin is already coming onto the back of the TCR car. So we're going to see our first look, Austin, at how this traffic is going to play out.
Yeah, and all this talk about M&Ms make me hungry.
I am looking at an empty bag of M&Ms I've just finished. Crispy, the blue ones.
My favorite are the orange ones.
I tell you what, when if I can get my hands on an M&M's paint scheme, I will put it on my race car. I have a 911 RSR here on iRacing with a bright yellow M&M's paint scheme. I love it.
Well, if anyone else wants to join in on Peter McKay's M&M's paint scheme contest, you can submit your entries to Peter McKay's Twitter at Peter McKay Podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to have them. I will kindly. I tell you what, in return, I will post a packet of M&M's as a thank you for designing a paint scheme for me. I tell you what, I don't have one for my Corvette, Austin. So if someone can make me an M&M's paint scheme for my Corvette, I will send you an extra large bag of M&M's.
Oh, send us. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a challenge. There's lay down the challenge here on the iRacing Esports Network live for the Ricmotech SportsCar series. So we've seen a brilliant battle here between Chan and Kernan, I think. No, Kernan's up ahead. So this is Chan and Thorman having a little bit of a ding-dong here. And just sizing each other up.
Thorman tried to hold around the outside, but Chan went a little bit wide mid-quarter and made Thorman check up, and that really dissipated this battle out here. And it's making them just question each other on how close we really want to run with each other. And someone who's not running close to anybody right now is Elvis Rankin. Heck, his close competition is a TCR in front of him.
Okay, so look at the time now. 2 seconds of a gap, almost exactly, between Rankin and Nom. Let's see how that gap moves back and forward as they make their way through the traffic. Now, we know Elvis is super safe through the traffic. He defies his young peers going through the traffic. He really gives lots of room, doesn't take silly risks. He goes past one of the TCRs there, nice and smooth. Perfect. That's how we... Oh! Did I just hear something in my headset there that sounded like contact?
That was the 449 of Henderson Knox riding up on one of those curves and just giving a little bit of tap, and that's the ugly sound of metal on concrete.
Ah, that's the ugly sound of running over a turtle, and nobody, you don't want to do that. That's
turtle being the barrier, not
the curb,
the actual animal. Don't know if you actually hit a turtle and know what that sounds like.
Oh no, I don't want to know.
Just play Mario, you'll find out.
Yeah. So now look at this. This is now Aeronom coming up to the back of some of the first TCR runners. And Elvis Rankin, he is just scampering away at the front. But this is going to be a big part of this race, how the drivers play this one out. And the GT4 guys, they do have a reasonable pit window to play with. Of course, here in the Ricmotech SportsCar series, the drivers do need to take a compulsory pit stop. We're expecting the GT... Whoa, dear! I take one look at my notes and I see a wildly oversteering Audi in the corner of my eye. Oh my word! That was
the one thing those TCRs are extremely good at is saving a car that's out of control. Those front-wheel drive cars know how to keep a car pointed straight, but oh my goodness, I get the heart pumping when you see one of them go sideways.
Yeah, I've had a few. In fact, I was driving one earlier, actually, just in some prep before this race. And you're right. You can have these massive oversteer moments, and you think, oh, I've lost it, and then it kind of just helps you out. They're wonderful cars. brilliant stuff. So how's this gap looking? 3 seconds now. The gap between Elvis Rankin and Aeronom. But yeah, just coming back to the fuel strategy for our GT4 runners, for the Porsche and for the BMW. We're expecting them to run 65 laps, and between 24. Whoa, Mike Dan's gonna make a move, 3 wide. Look at Martineau on the inside. Cameron Martineau in the 31 car. Drag race down the Sam Posey straight they go. Aeronom goes defensive, 3 wide into Big Bend. This surely can't fit. Oh my word, this is getting spicy.
Cameron thought about it and decided not to, but Mike Dam is on the hunt right now for Cameron Martin. That 93 looking very spicy. He's getting off the track. He's doing whatever he can to get an advantage on Aeronom.
Well, Elvis Rankin, he is checked out. See, you wouldn't want to be at 5 seconds now. Remember when it was 2 seconds? Just a couple of minutes ago? He has really managed this traffic beautifully well. And look at that, he's got some room to roam. So, yeah, we get a brief moment to say between lap 24 and lap 41 is effectively the pit window for the GT4 runners. They can come in as early as lap 24 and they can run it all the way to lap 41. So they've got quite a big pit window to play with. However, the TCR cars do not. They all have to come in between lap 32 and lap 37. So the GT4 guys who have done their homework, they can play that in. They can play that to their advantage as well. When they know the track's going to be a bit quieter with TCR cars pitting, they can play that how they want to.
I would say lap 30 for the GT4s would be a right time to do it, because on their out lap, it's going to be clear of TCRs if they all start going to the pits at that time.
Good plan, absolutely. And of course, the GT4s by that point will probably be about 1 lap, maybe 2 laps ahead, of course, as Rush Ruddock comes out of pit lane, and that Flying Tortoise Motorsports BMW looks a lot healthier now. He's got the damage repaired and he's back out on track. But whoa, this battle is heating up between Aeronom and Mike Dam. Mike Dam is in the draft. Is he going to take a look on the brakes? No, Mike Dam, he doesn't take any silly moves, does he? He waits for the right opportunity.
Aeronom, though.
Oh, Aeronom. I thought he'd left the door open there, Austin.
He did leave the door open. He's trying to get around that TCR who was holding that inside line. Aeronom thought he had speed, tried to hold it around the outside, and just couldn't get it done. And I think Aeronom's going to be sending it down the inside. Watch what Mike Dam does. This might bring out a gap between them. It will. Aeronom sends it, and he's got a good old gap to Mike Dam. And Mike Dam's got wide. Mike Dam hits the back of that TCR in front of him, and that promotes Cameron Martineau and Travis Schwenke. Look at the damage on Mike Dam's front of that car, especially the front right. That car has got some big old dents that need to be buffed out.
Yeah, that's the 88 of Bobby Childs there. Now look at this, he just gets a hop over the turtle curb. Aeronom knew he had to get by. Look at this, hop, up he goes, and that just checks him up, and then he gets another one. And Mike Dam had just nowhere to go. He wasn't expecting that. Oh, dear.
Hopped into him. Mike Dam might have suspension damage too.
He might. Yeah, those turtles are not good at all for the underside of any car. So
it looks like it might be towed in. That front right might be a bit towed in now after that hit. So there definitely might be some suspension damage to that 93. Not major suspension damage that will cause a meatball, but just enough that it will annoy you.
This is interesting. So for Mike Dam, what is he doing now? I mean, he can pit on lap 24, fill up, and make it to the end of the race. So if he wants to pit for any repairs, he can. But it's we'll just have to keep an eye on his lap times in the next little while. and see just how much he has been affected by that little incident.
Oh, he's dropping like a stone right now.
Oh no, that's a disaster for
He,
Mike
he'll
Dam.
stay in 5th all the way up to lap 24, I believe. His last lap, 56.25. Car behind him is doing 57s, so he will be able to stay there. But also, Paul Gibson and Colin Weatherholt have been lapping that TCR right there. So as they return to normal pace, I think Mike Dam will be in the best spot to pit in 5 laps on lap 24.
Yeah, I think he's just got to get in and try and stem the bleeding. Really, does Mike Dam? He just got really unlucky there. But here at Lime Rock Park, it's got to be one of the hardest tracks on the iRacing service to manage lap traffic, especially when you have such close lap times. Of course, the cars make their lap times in different ways, but the lap time is so close that really makes it quite tough for both classes. Tough for the TC. I mean, for Bobby Childs there as well. He's absolutely swarmed by GT4 Porsches, and he's just trying to run his rate and just going to upset his rhythm a little bit too. So really, really tricky. But all the while, Elvis Rankin's been clearing off at the front, but the gap has stabilised. It's still at 5 seconds. So Aaron Nom is now starting to recover. We're starting to reset, and it's going to be looks like it's going to be a straight battle between Rankin and Nom.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a battle. So we're looking at Beasley and Brown battling side by side. Beasley slips down to the inside of Brown, and Beasley moves up into 9th place as these guys are closing on 1 TCR cars. Let's take a look at Kevin Ford, predicted at him finishing within the top 10, specifically 7th. He's currently sitting in 12th place.
Oh, look at Kernan. Look at Kernan.
Tony.
Oh, my word.
That is scary.
Oh,
there's the inside line, and then there's the inside of the inside line, and Tony was going on the inside of the inside of the inside line right there, and around! It's the 156 of Bidwell!
I think he tagged the back of Beasley, actually. I think Tony Kernan, he caught the back of Beasley because Beasley looked to have a little bit of damage to his rear corner. I think on the right. Let's get we'll get another look at this one first.
The curb. It's just the curb on the outside, got into the grass, and around he went. Beasley was nowhere near that.
No, that was the move. Kernan moving into turn 1. The number 7, Anthony Kernan, coming. You know, that big move. Look at that. See, Beasley in front. There's a little bit of sparks flying, and I think that was due to a little bit of contact from Kernan coming into turn 1. Hard to say, but let's see what happens. We come through the final 2 corners, down the pit straight, down Sam Posey straight. We're going to see Anthony Kernan move over to the right. There he goes, onto the brakes. No, he doesn't. So what happened to Beasley?
This was a much earlier lap.
Huh.
Because there was a TCR that replayed. Oh no, Thorman's around into the wall. Oh, that is disastrous for Chris Thorman. And he's getting passed by TCR, so he better watch his re-entry right now, because that's the leaders just passing him right there. But thankfully, Lime Rock Park, very safe with its design with that grass all the way around there. But so if you go off, it's very easy to get back on track and find a safe spot to do it. And here is a
smash.
And he just got a warning for there because he just cooked it a lot into that corner. And he smacked the 449 of Henderson Knox and who's that other car? 67 Steve Daniel.
Yeah, that's lucky to get away with just a warning there, actually. We have seen incidents of similar nature receive drive-through penalties, but not this time. Now, look at this. The form man, Cameron Martineau, in the number 31. My word, that's a lunge. He is really on such an upward curve in performance, and he is... Oh dear, I haven't seen one of those for a while. Blocking, number 64, a warning. That is
David Payton.
David Payton. Well, that's interesting.
Well then, that's a What was the last time you seen a blocking penalty?
I can't remember, to be honest. Must have been quite a while ago. But
Oh, Tornado and Peyton are having a scrap right now.
yeah. Oh my word! Yes, they are, aren't they? Let's see how what we're kind of looking for here. I wonder if that, of course, Peyton will have got that notification to that he'd been given a warning for blocking. So.
Actually, Race Control has not said anything on the radio. I am tuned into the Race Control message is right now, and nothing has been said over the radio about that. So I am I'm a bit confused right there. But let's see if we're getting any blocking. It is a warning though, so probably not going to get anything about a warning over the radio though.
Okay,
But
so
David, just looking in his mirrors as Kernan looks down to the inside. This is no shot off right there. That's right on board of the gearbox of David Payton. Get back at Anthony Kernan.
wonderful
Anthony,
sound.
great sound. Not as good as the Corvette, but very good sound.
No, nothing sounds as good as a Corvette, though, Austin. You know that.
I know. We're not biased here.
Well, we can be because there's no Corvettes in the race, so it's not as if we're biased to any particular car. If there's no Corvettes here, we can't be biased.
I know, but still.
So, but that's a wonderful sounding engine, that GT4 flat six, 425 horsepower, pretty much identical to the engine you get in the road version of the 718 GT4. In fact, when you buy one of this is one of the least expensive GT4 cars you can buy. I think it might be the cheapest GT4 car you can buy in the real world, but you can also have it serviced at your local Porsche center.
I know, which is a very interesting thing. Just, hey, I'm going to get my GT4 car serviced down the street. Need anything? Though, I really highly suggest driving a GT4 car on the road. But there goes Mike Dam into the pit lane as Aeronautic Cameron Martin, who looked down to the inside of that D2D car in second place. That is Brandon Whitworth.
Mike Dam in the pit, so he has taken a pretty early opportunity. He goes up on the jacks, so he's deciding to take tires, and he's also
Smart.
Yeah, that is smart. Absolutely, just take the tires, get up, filled up with fuel, and get a little bit of repair. But Mike Dam back out on track now with some fresh rubber. Let's see what his lap times are like.
Man, first got to heat those tires up, so we're gonna get a good estimate of what his time is within 2 minutes. We're looking at back to this battle for 11th between Kernan and Peyton. And it's like a little bit of RG Barty's happening in front of him with these cars trying to get around that TCR. And these TCRs are going to be the key in moving up here as Kernan goes off the track. A little bit of a wiggle coming out of West Bend.
Yeah, he's pushing. He's finally got past Peyton after that little skirmish, and yeah, he's on the move now. Look at that. And he's chasing down Kevin Ford, who is up into 10th place. So he's getting closer to your prediction, Austin. That is for sure. And at the front, well, Elvis Rankin has stretched his gap a little bit more, 7.5 seconds for him back to Aeronom. And, well, Aeronom's got big problems because he's got Cameron Martineau on his case. And also Travis Schwenke not too far behind now as well, who I believe has a new Simrig setup at home, so he's got a shiny new toy to play with.
Yeah, he was, just for this race, was getting all set up in the TeamSpeak right there, trying to get his permissions back, and I definitely know the feeling as well, operating on a new system. But I believe it wasn't a new Simrig, he was just rebuilding his computer and fixing something.
I see.
Maybe installing
okay.
a few upgrades.
Maybe putting in some new components. So look at this battle rages on. So you've got Aeronom in the red and black Porsche, Cameron Martineau in the Aquila Racing, that nice sort of blue and turquoise and white Porsche. And Cameron is just, well, he won last time out in the GT Challenge in his Ferrari GT3 car, and he is in really strong form right now. And he is all over the back of Vero Nom, the 7-time in a row Classic Sprint Series champion here in the Ricmotech paddock. And he's getting put under a lot of pressure from oh my word, Cameron Martineau nearly tags the back of him. How did he keep that one on the blacktop?
I don't know.
Because that gravel trap there, it is just magnetic. When you come and you see it so many times, you just lose the braking point. And we've got a Thrasher.
Smith.
Cool paint scheme on that car.
Yeah, great paint scheme.
Yeah.
That was a very weird rejoin. I would not advise driving backwards on the track to do a 180, but when you see the oncoming traffic, it will kind of help.
That does, yeah. Sometimes you'll see a number of the drivers will have varying types of setup. Some drivers will use a VR headset. It's Anthony Kernan's off. Kernan's off in the front there, so he's made a mistake. Yeah, some drivers will use a VR headset which gives a very good vision. Some drivers prefer. We've got another driver off as well. That is the 156 Bidwell. So you'll see some drivers will use a triple screen, like a wraparound screen, so they can look in their peripheral vision, and you'll have other drivers who just have a single screen, and that is where I guess also where it becomes a little bit more difficult to look in your blind spots.
And there's another one. Some drivers who have a super crazy ultra wide screen that does the job of triples, but is just crazy wide. But yeah, I raced on VR, I raced on triples, I've raced on ultra wides, I've raced on single screens. I've done it all. I prefer triple screens because mostly my stuff outside of racing, it's more productive for me. But all those have different ways to know where traffic's coming. VR, I can just look in my mirror, look around, tilt my head. Out of the car is probably my favorite thing to do, especially in the Skippy. Triples, I'm there, I see everything. Ultra wide, I'm there, I see everything. Single's a bit tricky to know where everyone else is, and you tend to be running a much more higher FOV, as right behind Warner, we saw a daring dive into turn one.
Yep, indeed, and still List in the lead from Brandon Whitworth by 1.8 seconds. In Andrew List leading in the 61 Audi in TCR, doing a great job. You'll see very handily the TCR cars have the kind of LED light in the back window there, see it? And that tells you where they are in class. So Andrew List, he has the number that you want on the side, the 01, first place in class, as we have
Travis Schwenke into the pits.
Travis Schwenke coming in, yes. So for Orion Racing,
it's gonna be the first of our top runners into the pit lane. So if Schwenke takes time, oh my goodness, Kevin unleashing that BMW power down to the inside, but Jennifer McDonald, who usually runs a BMW, just chopping the nose off of Kevin. And just look at the gap that she already has to Kevin in the corners. That just shows on the maneuverability of the Porsche to the Kevin right there.
Yeah, this is kind of like Timon and Pumbaa. The Porsche is so. This is the Porsche is really nimble, like Timon, and the BMW is very powerful, but not so maneuverable like Pumbaa. So yeah, to give you an idea, Jen McDonald actually drives a BMW in the real world and takes it out on track as well, and that shows you how disadvantaged the BMW is, because even as a BMW owner, she's still racing the Porsche.
I'm trying to stay away from making any BMW puns in the shape of Hakuna Matata right now, because you just implanted that in my mind.
Oh, well.
I'm going to go back to think about Corvettes.
Yeah, Monday night is Ricmotech night with Peter Mackay and Austin Knight here on Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Esports Network as pit lane's getting busy
Elvis.
now. Leader is in the pit lane, Elvis Rankin. Now, I want to know...
he had a very tricky entrance. It looks like he tried to enter it a little bit more, and he got bogged up on the entrance because that lapsed car. Let's take a replay on board of Elvis Rankin. heading into the pit lane. Watch his braking.
Yeah, if we can keep an eye. Let's see if he takes tires or not. If you can, is he up in the jacks?
He's on the jacks.
Yes, he is. So he's taking tires of some sort, as has Cameron Martineau. Now, what we've seen is Aaron Nom has been the guy who's played the different strategy game. It hasn't worked for him the last couple of weeks, but let's see what Aaron Nom does. I want to see if he wants to go on an alternative strategy or if he's just going to mirror what the other guys around him are doing. But what's happened to Steve Daniel in the 67 car?
Just running that curb. That curb bites, and it bites hard. I'm gonna go for a big old slide right there, right in front of the bridge, but West Bend very dangerous. But now, Aeronom had a 8-second gap to Elvis right there. If he takes tires, that will only give him an advantage of about 2 seconds to chop down that lead. And just as he's running on old tires, Rankin is running on newer tires. Rankin is going to be very poised on making up that time very quickly on those newer tires because he's going to have the grip. Aeronom's on those much older tires. He's going to be running on a lot less grip. And we've seen Elvis put in some extremely fast laps here. So Aeronom's going to try, I would say the best move for Aeronom, stay out as long as you can, take tires. That time you're going to be saving with the fuel is going to help you with the tires. Because we've seen him not take tires at Indianapolis, and that bit him hard. Actually took him out on the podium running.
It did, yeah, it really did. Yeah, good point. And also, you've got to see that Elvis Rankin has a bit of one of the only gaps on track. He's the blue M&M with a 5 on it. You'll see it on the top right of your screen. He has got a little bit of clear track ahead of him, so he can lay down the hot laps now. And that could be pivotal as well. Meanwhile, mind you, Aeronom also has... Aeronom is actually even in an even better position. He's got clear track and a light fuel load as well, of course, remember. So, and he could go for another 4 laps before that tank runs dry. So let's see what Aeronom decides to do.
He does have cars coming out of the pit lane, though.
Ah, true. Yes, good point.
And
so
the
let's
TCRs.
see if that hampers him, and that's not good. A TCR coming out on new front tyres is, yes. So can he get around the 64? No, that's bad timing.
And
that's
everything that he's been working for has been thrown away right now, and around goes the 64. Now, if I was Aeronom, probably just threw his finger out the window and just be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I gotta think he's slightly unhappy with that. Nothing, in fairness, the 64 car exited pit lane safely, coming back onto the racing line. Just bad fortune there for Aeronom. Really unlucky.
Yeah, that's racing.
That is racing. Yep, absolutely. It's cliche, but it's true.
When you're trying to go for the overcut, you need it to be perfect in every single way. And I've been in those situations where I've seen my rival that I'm racing. He has a little bit of a gap to me. I gave him that gap. He goes into there, and I'm like, I gotta go 5 straight laps. If the car comes out of the pit lane and he holds you up one thing, you just feel the worst, and the most red of red mist just flies over you right there, because oh no.
Well, look at this. I mean, you look at the pace from Elvis Rankin. You look at those last 2 laps, absolutely critical. And look, whoa, last 3 laps, oh my word, he's on again, back on qualifying pace again. And well, it just shows you how important that tire is. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to asking Elvis how many tires he took. If did he take all 4 or just on the left side? But we'll see. But
probably just left side.
Yeah, maybe. He wasn't in the lane for long, that's for sure. But we're looking at Eric Violette in the 89 TCR.
Not sure if you heard that, but I believe the 46 just took an absolute curb to the face.
Oh, he ran over the turtle. I don't know if for our viewers, if you could look it up, it's quite funny. There's a brilliant, a goofy video between, it's a scene from The Office, the American Office, and it's talking about the turtles. He's like, where are the turtles? Ooh. And it's like One of the characters is
Ooh.
the Daytona Speedway, and one is the Charlotte Roval as well. But we've got a few problems out on track here
Elvis
right now.
Rankin has just been held up by not one but two cars, and he is stuck behind Eric Violet, the leader of the TCR class right now. And Eric's not giving Elvis any room. Eric's going on to the inside. Elvis, this is going to be huge for Aeronom. As he gets into the pit lane, and this is extremely big for Aeronom. Elvis Rankin has just been held up through not one, not two, not three, but 4 corners in a row.
Yep, and that's Eric Violet. That's the TCR leader right now, and that is so he's got his race to run, and Elvis will be angry right now. Aeronom is in pit lane. Eric going into pit. Eric Violet going into pit lane in the TCR. There goes Elvis.
No tires too.
No. Yeah, no tire. Good, well spotted, Austin. So Aeronom is on old tires and lost the track position. So this is now Elvis now has really just got to take his time. He's got a big margin.
He's fallen down to 6th place, and look who is in 3rd.
He hasn't pitted yet.
Still, Kevin Ford's in 3rd in a BMW.
Okay, take the photograph. Take the photograph. There he is. He's up there. Well, so now we kind of look towards. Well, look at Mike Dam.
Oh no!
He's been. Yeah, that's a bit. Mike Dam has got he's got ahead of Cameron Martineau. So Mike Dam is on the fight back. So while we're just seeing the field shuffle out, let's take a very quick break here on the iRacing Esports Network for a message from our sponsors, Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Lime Rock Park, where we are in the middle of an absolute thriller here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Elvis Rankin is out front in GT4 with putting together another flawless performance. And we have Aeronom's off. Aeronom has been in the barrier. He's not long been in the pit lane. What has happened?
Old tires. Those old tires have bit him hard. And he was in clean air too. Oh, he must have hit the grass trying to maximize it. No, he hasn't. Understeer. No. We were joking about understeering cars, mostly the BMW. Never we would have thought it would have been for a Porsche.
No, you called it there, Austin. I mean, that was pretty vivid example of just how when those tires don't bite, it's just horrid, isn't it? And you really are suffering. Well, as you see, oh goodness me, Anthony Kernan having a battle here with Arthur Chan in the 50 Porsche.
I think that car from behind plus the squeezing might have been the cause for that incident.
Uh-oh.
We get the battle. Oh.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girl, I give you the TCR Slaughterfest Part 2 here on the Ricmotech Sports Car Series after a long-awaited rivalry. The tail of the tape after our first round. I forgot the name of the track.
Watkins Glen, yeah. I tell you what, Jen McDonald, she's like, let me get right out of the way of this. I'm not getting involved with you guys. Wow.
Oh, no.
She gets caught in the sandwich there. Oh, dear, dear, dear. So this is really game on between Andrew List and Eric Violet.
Oh, we're right behind him.
Uh-oh.
Big shot right there. Kernan and Brown. And we got a penalty for the 09 of Brown getting announced right there for incident responsibility. So he's going to have to take a drive-through penalty. This is disastrous for Fikey right there.
Yeah. Not good. Yeah, and just that little incident at turn 1 there, and he will have to go through pit lane. Does he decide to take it straight away? He does, I think. As we see Kevin Ford coming out of pit lane, he's taking his pit stop. Tell you what, he's made
right
that
in front
time.
of Violet.
Uh-oh.
Right in front of the leader. Oh, I'm getting nervous right here.
Oh, this is a disaster for Andrew List. He's just got a big, he's got Pumbaa in front of him, BMW M4. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, Kevin Ford in the big BMW is coming out of pit lane on full tires. And Andrew List is just getting caught up in the corners. But so is Eric Violet, and Andrew List is, well, if anything, he's almost getting pushed along, actually. So it hasn't hurt him as much as we thought it might. But Eric Violet, he's now been separated by, well, nearly 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, those two GT4s just separating that fight. But this is great if you're Kevin Ford, because that TCR is just as fast as these GT4s, especially. Here goes Jen McDonald. She's sending it down to the inside. But that TCR mid-corner just has the pace just to hold it round the outside. And oh my goodness, Jen is trying everything. And that is allowing Tony Kernan just to stay with her. And Andrew List is just doing everything that's in his right. He's driving his own race, doesn't have to give way. Jen really wants them to give way right there, because she's watching Kevin Ford in 9th run away as they're being held up by that TCR.
Yep, I think it's the GT4. The only place it's really got that big advantage is on the straight, and maybe a little bit through this final corner, but in the slow technical stuff, the TCR's got that pace. So here goes Jen again. She's got the draft. I think she'll get it done this time. Yeah, she's long side, late on the brakes. Oh, Kernan.
Tony!
Oh, my word, that was close. Anthony Kernan is so late on the brakes there into turn 1.
It's Anthony.
Oh, my word.
I've been calling him Tony for how long, and nobody's corrected me.
I think either way works. If you say it quickly, Tony Kernan, it sounds like we've got a former Indianapolis 500 winner in our
I think that's why I said Tony in the first place. Is there a Tony in the field? No, that just makes it even more embarrassing. I am sorry, Anthony.
Well, Tony is short for Anthony, so I think it's that's acceptable. As Oakley has a look outside the inside. So List in this traffic, in this melee, Andrew List is doing a great job to keep his lap speed up, and he is pulling away from Eric Violet in the 89, and Violet has Whitworth to worry about now. So, right, yes. So the 89 of Violet goes very far to the inside. Whitworth's going to go round the outside. That almost looked choreographed. I'm sure it wasn't, but it looked like it.
Their teammates and Marco just said probably the funniest thing in my ear. Multi-21, or in this case, Multi-4289.
Yeah.
Not as catchy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Multi-21 is it's universal for we won't even say it. We know what it means, but that
if you don't know what it is, it's letting the teammate by.
Yeah, basically, and that was pretty much what it was, I think. So now
it got famous though for being absolutely ignored.
Yes, indeed.
And it's a pile up right there. Bobby Childs getting really into the bumper right there in the 16 GT4 of Travis Schwenke. Just getting a bit sandwiched right there. This is what happened right now. To see Schwenke that only GT4 and all. Yeah, that's why you don't go too wide into that chicane.
Watch for Whitworth, because over the course of the race, Whitworth's fastest time, at 56.5, list is a 56.65. So only a little bit of a difference, but Whitworth potentially has pace. And look at that, bang. Whitworth, as soon as he gets some clean air, he's into the fastest lap of the race for the TCR class. Also, speaking of fastest lap of the race, Elvis Rankin has just slammed in the first 54 of the race, and as we see Shieldsmith, steady. Oh God, I thought he was
parked it on the exit, and he's coming back onto the track. I really hope he's got some M&Ms on his screen so I can see where everyone else is. The other option is the F3 box, which a lot of people should use a little bit more. I'm not salty at all.
Yep, well, if I tell you what, if you our SDK gaming software, the same overlays, the same professional graphics you see here on your broadcast here, you can have that on your screen while you are racing in iRacing. It's an amazing piece of software, and you can use it for your own streaming or just for the competitive advantage. And as you said, the now known as the M&M's track map. Maybe we should get some sponsorship with some free M&M's. M&M's track map on the top right-hand side of your screen can show you where your competitors are. And as you can see at this very tight Lime Rock Park circuit, there isn't an awful lot of clear space out on the track.
Yeah, not a lot of clear space, and that's Lime Rock Park for you. And looking at that, Cameron Martin who got a big wiggle right there. But Elvis Rankin being held up a lot by that 89 of
Eric Violet.
Okay,
so I think Whitworth maybe has just a little bit more pace under his car.
Oh my goodness, Aeronom. Giving the lawn man a little bit of a hassle today by going way off track trying to avoid this. Let's take a replay on board with Aeronom, and he's out of the podium right now. He's just trying anything he can to get back up the track. Got onto that curb, and it's not good.
Nope, that was not what Aeronom needed. He's now in fifth. He's pretty safely in fifth. Weatherholt just 7 seconds further back. So he's pretty safe in fifth. Schwenke is only 3.5 seconds ahead, so not all is not lost for Aeronom, but you've got to think that he was wanting the win today. But Elvis Rankin
and that car in front of him, is Chris Thorman, who's in 20th, and he is multiple laps down.
Here we go. So they go into.
Last time he did this, he understeered it into the grass, and he's done it again. But he saved it this time. He wasn't far into the grass, but that is still an off track, and that slowed him down a lot.
Yeah, those tires are just done, aren't they? He's got to just limp those home for another 10 minutes here at Lime Rock Park. It's constant punishment on the tires, and we don't think Aero took tires, so this is really tough.
His pit stop time was 11.4 seconds. The car behind him, Colin Weatherholt, also didn't take tires, but everyone in the top 4 has taken tires.
Yeah, and this is crazy, isn't it, Austin? Because this is I feel like this is a repeat of the last few weeks where that gamble hasn't necessarily worked. So we see him coming down pit lane. This is a replay of his pit stop. So we'll see if he goes up on the jacks. Does he go up on the jacks?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
So there you go. That
Fuel
is your
and go. And to quote Light McQueen's pit crew, okay, not going to be fully, but you're going to need tires.
Yep,
I'm
absolutely.
not finishing that quote.
Yep, Elvis Rankin, Cameron Martineau, Mike Dam, and Travis Schwenke, they've had a Guido to change their tires with the pit stop.
You know, I think we need Marco. Oh, around goes Shieldsmith in turn 1.
Yep. Oh, Shieldsmith's not had a good day,
Yeah.
and it's been a while since we've done some of our air gun impressions.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we should have had Marco unmute himself right there. Get a little bit of a pit stop as we provide the ambient noises.
Yep. Brilliant stuff. So we see, look at Jen McDonald on screen. She's in 11th right now. Really hampered quite a bit by getting caught in that leading battle for the TCR lead. Looking at, and look at Brandon Whitworth. Brandon Whitworth under a second to Andrew List. So really the battle is TCR for the next 8 minutes.
Lucas
this
behind
is going to come
List.
down to the wire. Look at, there's Brandon Whitworth right there at the back of the shot in the
And there's
grey and
Elvis
blue.
Rankin lapping him.
Yep. So that's going to be, well, that could be crucial as well in terms of the timing of when the white flag comes out. But I tell you what, Whitworth is just pulling chunks of time out of List, and I suspect that's maybe why Violet let him by. Violet now 7.8 seconds off the back of this pack. So that when we saw that, what we thought was a choreographed move, that's why.
Is it a D2D 1, 2, 3 right now?
It's a D2D 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
Yeah, D2D
Well, half the
is
grid is
oh no,
D2D.
Sunshine Autos in
Yeah.
so I think Violet is
Bobby.
dropping back further.
Bobby had an issue earlier on in the race. That's what happened.
See, so he's in the grey and pink accented machine.
Yeah,
that
he
yellow.
hit that curb extremely hard, and that's why he's dropped off. And Andrew List very rough on the brakes as Whitworth closing in even more. And to give you one of your favorite quotes, it's a little snaky in the brakey.
Oh yeah, the TCR is very sneaky in the braking, that's for sure. But there's no gap at all now between Andrew List and Brandon Whitworth. We're going to go down to the wire once again in the TCR. Audi on Audi. Oh, and there you go. That is very snaky in the braking there from Andrew List. Wow, that's just really getting it locked up there. Of course, no ABS in these TCR machines.
Man, that
they are
thing's
very
wiggling.
simple.
There is ABS, but it's very tricky to get it right.
So we're coming into turn 1, big bend, and they've got GT. And you know, this is crazy to say, the TCRs have GT4 traffic to worry about here. These guys are so on the ball with this car. And,
Well, remember in qualifying, these guys were faster than a few of the GT4s, and these were on fresher tires. I think the guys in GT4s on the back of this pack they have damage. They might be on older tires, and that traffic is going to be very bad. The 37 bouncing up all up to the curb, and look at the damage on List's hood. That hood is popped open like a soda can, and he hits the 37. Brown goes around. Brown skates off the cross the stripe, and it's Andrew List with a popped soda can of a front hood, and Whitworth dancing on his bumper, and this is disastrous right now. And here comes Whitworth down to the inside, and it's Whitworth, List for the lead of the TCRs, and it's going to be Whitworth taking that easily mid-corner, and oh no.
Oh, what a shame for Andrew List. Not really much he could do there. Just going to replay what happened. Oh,
That's it right there.
Brown just checked up in front of him. Nowhere to
He
go.
might be getting a penalty as well for this.
I have to say, I don't think he would deserve one, to be honest. But it's just one of those deals. But I tell you what, well, List is not giving up. He's still on the back of Whitworth. He's going to have to fight really hard. But he has a lot of traffic up ahead, so you never know what could happen in front. He's just got to keep in this one and try and stay on it.
No, he's just so slow on the straight.
Yeah, he's losing it. Look at that. Yeah.
When the GT4 can pass you that easily, and it's a teammate car too, so definitely don't want to have that GT4 holding you up.
No, No, definitely not. No, that is such a shame. It looked like we were going to get a great showdown there between Andrew List and Brandon Whitworth, but well, it's just one of those. That is a classic Lime Rock Park checkup, isn't it, at the chicane?
Yeah, and it was a mistake too. He hit the curb, he went around, and it was the battle for the lead. So it's just multi-class racing, extremely bad area, and you know the saying, wrong place, wrong time. Well, this is wrong place, wrong time, wrong track, wrong corner, and it's just all right there.
Yep, unfortunately the perfect storm. So we're looking at Weatherholt trying to hold off the advances of Gibson right now for 6th place. And Kevin Ford a few places back in the leading BMW. He's in 10th. He's got Anthony Kernan right in front of him. And Kevin's got a few little battle scars on the front of that Beamer, so he's been getting his elbows out. And also,
This is dirt.
they have just been
this is
been lapped by Elvis Rankin, so they will not have to go that long. They'll follow him through on the white flag and then take the checkered. So there is not long to go for those guys, but brilliant battle here between Weatherholt and Gibson. Who's going to get the better of this one? Now look at that race control incident between cars 61 and 37. That was Brown and Andrew List, the TCR leader at the time. It's been reviewed and no action taken. I think that's the right call, Austin.
I think Brown might be a little bit upset after that because he was the one that's kind of turned around right there, and it was just his mistake that started it all. But yeah, that's just extremely unfortunate right there, as Andrew List falling away 3 seconds from Whitworth, and that front end of that Audi. Well, it's going to be a repeating thing that we've seen with extremely close battling in the TCRs, just result in massive incidents.
Yep, indeed. And for Brandon Whitworth, well, he's on 174 points in the championship. He's in 2nd coming into this race behind Matthew Warner. Warner is all the way back in 4th, so it's going to be a bit of a change at the top of the TCR championship. White flag is out for Elvis Rankin, and well, it's another dominant performance from this incredible young man. What amazes me, Austin, I mean, his pace is obvious, but it's the maturity of each of these drives where he just does not make mistakes and doesn't take any silly chances. It's really impressive to watch someone of such tender years be so clever out on the racetrack.
Yeah, I've never seen this amount of maturity from somebody that, well, is not even in high school yet. And Elvis Rankin put in an absolute clinic weekend after week after week after week. And 1 quarter to go, and it is another historic day as Elvis Rankin takes the win here for the Ricmotech Sports Car Series in his #1 Orion Racing Machine GT4.
Here comes Brandon Whitworth then. Brandon Whitworth not far behind. He takes the win in TCR from a really unlucky Andrew List. Oh, that just went right down to the wire, but what a race in both classes. And Mike Dam, remember him? He got back up onto the podium. So brilliant recovery drive. Awesome recovery drive. Absolutely. Can't wait to have a chat with him. Mike usually comes in to the interview room to have a chat. So interesting to see how he climbed back up the field. Eric Violet gets on the podium in TCR as well. And, well, there's Warner and Bobby Childs coming in 4th and 5th. Whew, what a race here at Lime Rock Park. You know, they say, oh, you can't overtake around here, but it never ceases to amaze me. Such brilliant racing always here at Lime Rock Park.
Yeah, Lime Rock Park, famous to a lot of great racing, and it produces a lot of great side-by-side, multi-corner battling. I'm not sure if you watched the iRacing Top 10 highlights videos, but the first clip is a 3-way battle for an entire lap in the Skip Barbers, as we're watching. It is pushing on the last lap legal there. Just give it a little bit of a bump draft.
Well, this is a bit like well, you mentioned Lightning McQueen. That is the Lightning McQueen one,
I
pushing
guess alone.
the king. Oh, that's not respectful.
Okay. It
So
apparently didn't even count him as a finisher right there. He's
So let's
Oh, that
take
was
a
weird.
little look at the results here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. So your winner then, Elvis Rankin, wins from Cameron Martineau by 8.6 seconds. An absolute clinic indeed. Mike Dam, a fantastic recovery drive from the Canadian in the 93 Porsche. Only 14.3 seconds off the back of Elvis Rankin. Perhaps a case of what might have been. Fourth was Travis Schwenke and Aaron Nom. Not a good day for the Estonian, finishing in fifth place. Colin Weatherholt finished sixth, followed by Paul Gibson, Jacob Beasley, Tony Kernan, and Kevin Ford, the first BMW home. Jen McDonald was 11th in her Porsche, followed by David Payton, Arthur Chan, and Cameron Bidwell. Trent Brown was 15th, with Jordy Fike in 16th, and Steve Daniel 17th. Derek Holland was 18th, followed by Chris Shieldsmith, Chris Thorman, and Russ Ruddick. And in the TCR class, our winner was Brandon Whitworth by 5 seconds in the end from a very unlucky Andrew List. Eric Violet got it onto the podium for a D2D Esports lockout. Matthew Warner was fourth, followed by Bobby Childs, Edgar Sanchinelli, and Henderson Knox. We're going to take a very brief break here on the iRacing Esports Network for a word from our sponsors, Ricmotech, and we will be right back with driver interviews. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back to Lime Rock Park, where we have been treated to another cracker of a race here on the Ricmotech paddock. Monday night is Ricmotech night, and we are going to have a chat to our outright winner, Elvis Rankin, and also winner in the GT4 class. Let's get him in for a chat and see what he has to say. Elvis Rankin, welcome to the commentary booth here on Apex Racing TV. Another clinic, to quote my colleague Austin Knight. How does it feel, sir?
Oh, it feels really good. I would say clinic would be a decent word to use, but I think last week was more of a clinic than this week for sure.
Oh, you're getting fussy now, young man. Now, I know you've been quite busy recently with some experience in some real world racing in the Lucas Oil Formula car. Tell us about that.
Nah, it was really good. Had a good weekend for sure. It didn't necessarily end the way I wanted it to end, but I think overall, I put in the result that I needed to put in for a good solid weekend for sure at Sebring.
Oh, Sebring! You're making me jealous now. Sebring is one of my favorite tracks. On the full track.
That's my favorite for sure. I love Sebring. I can't wait till we go there in like 3 weeks. in these series. There are 3 races, so I'm so excited for that.
Oh, that's going to be fast. And of course, everyone talks about the bumps at Sebring. In one of the single-seater cars, how did it feel?
Actually, the bumps weren't that bad. I think it was, to be completely honest with you, when I did the 12 hours Sebring for the Sports Car Open, it was a lot worse than that LMP2 than it was in the Formula car. So, for sure. I mean, I don't know when iRacing scanned it, but obviously I would expect there to be more bumps than there are in iRacing. But I mean, still, the track's really, really just like iRacing, and all the hours that I put in it for that Sports Car Open definitely helps for sure.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Obviously, Elvis, you're very busy in the sim racing world. When you got back into the real race car on the track at Sebring, how important has that amount of track time in the sim been to your real world racing?
Too important. I'll just say that it's a piece of equipment that I've had for a while, and it's just elevated my game just so much. And now I get to start having fun with this kind of stuff. I started to figure out the software, the little things that really make you fast on this software. That for sure I'm figuring it out now and starting to find that last little bit of speed that I'm needing and starting to put in good results.
You certainly are, young man. Well, before we let you go to go and enjoy another win, who would you like to give a shout out to live on the iRacing eSports network?
Yeah, for sure. There's a person, an influencer that has been kind of a big part with me for a long time, for about 6+ years, I would say. And about 4 years ago, on this day, he got in a bad accident, had a E7 spinal core, had a brain tumor, brain bleeds, and he's fully recovered 4 years ago. And he's just such a cool guy, and I want to give a big shout out to Scotty Kramer. He's a big inspiration for action sports and a big part of my life, because he really just, it's like it gives you the inspiration to do stuff that, like, anything really is possible in life. And I want to give a big shout out. This one's for him today, since it's his 4-year anniversary. Orion Race Team, I couldn't do without all the guys at Orion. Another amazing car from them. Joel Real Timing, HPP. My teammates, Mike Dam for making the amazing setup tonight, Travis Schwanke, and Robert Hartley, who didn't get to show up again tonight. We're waiting for the debut. And yeah, Extreme Motorsports 99, Ricmotech, all the series admins, Kevin Ford, Jeff Jacobs, Rush Ruddock, Bobby Childs. We couldn't do without them. They put this whole show on. Apex Racing TV, all you guys for broadcasting the race tonight, and I can't wait to go and watch the race back tonight.
Well, we hope you enjoy it. We referred to the Porsche is the Timon to the BMW Pumbaa. So you've got all that nonsense from Austin and I to look forward to. Elvis, well done, young man, and we'll see you next time out.
Yep, thank you.
So that was Elvis Rankin. I'm very pleased indeed with his win here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. And our TCR winner, Brandon Whitworth, is with Austin Knight.
Thank you. I'm standing here with Brandon Whitworth right now. Brandon, it was a very hectic day for you, and within the last 5 minutes, you took the lead after closing in on Andrew List for most of the race. How was that?
It was tense. Dealing with GT4 traffic, I think that was we both of us had a hard time with that, and I think I finally caught up to him. Both of us trying to work through traffic.
And traffic was the
that was it.
traffic was the big thing here today at Lime Rock Park. It just emphasizes the traffic a lot. Well, you're headed to Most Sport next time by, so I don't think you're going to be dealing with traffic a lot there, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a throwback back to Watkins Glen in round 1. So how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, Most Sport's a pretty good track. There's only a couple tight spots, so GT4 should be able to get around there pretty easy, and with our front-wheel drive cars, some of those corners are going to be really interesting, but I'm sure we'll manage. Or we'll go off the track, right?
Yeah, you certainly will. Well, congrats on the win, Brandon. Anyone you want to thank here today?
Oh, yeah, I think Elite Texas Graphics for sponsoring us, and Ricmotech for helping put the league together, and all my teammates for support, helping out here and there, and my family for letting me do this.
Well, they're certainly going to be proud for you today. It's a win for you here at the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. And it smiles all around for you and your boys in the pit crew today.
Yeah, feels good.
And that was Brandon Whitworth, our TCR winner. And let's go to Peter McKay for another interview.
And I have with me Cameron Martineau, the man in form. Cameron, this is becoming a bit of a Monday night tradition now, you and I having a chat.
Yeah, it's I'm enjoying it, Peter. Not gonna lie.
As am I. I tell you what, you had looked like you had some great pace out there at Lime Rock Park today. Maybe we'll just come back here every week in the Ricmotech paddock.
I would love that. I seem to do well here.
You definitely do, and of course you had a great battle there early on in the race with Aeronom. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I actually think Mike was in that as well. Especially at the beginning, we were in that three-way battle, and it was unfortunate. There was a bit of a little glitch that went on into the chicane with Bobby Childs. I don't know if he hit one of those red sausage curbs and just flew across the track, or if it was just the graphics going crazy. But once that happened, Eero pulled away a little bit, was able to catch back up to him pretty steadily, and then from there it was just trying to apply the pressure and see if we can force him into a mistake, or see if I could get a good run on him going into turn one. And I think I definitely, at least for getting in front of Eero, I think I played that strategy pretty well, because I jumped him in the pit stops because he went long and he was pulled out about a 1.5 second gap on him. And so it was a good fight, and a few times I was a bit close to his bumper there going into turn one. These cars are, I would say, very difficult to race, just because late braking tendency is to want to use as much of the brake as possible, but these cars really don't like it. You'll actually blow through the ABS and you'll stop at a longer distance than if you were to say back off a little bit. So few moments, but it was a lot of fun.
It certainly looked like it out there. Yeah, I think Bobby was definitely his Audi and the turtle cabs did not agree with one another. I think I could hear the crunch here in Scotland.
Yeah,
it didn't sound very good.
it did not look good.
Yeah. So, Cameron, yet another podium here in the Ricmotech paddock. Who would you like to shout out to on the iRacing Esports Network?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Team Orion and Team Aquila and our team manager Frosty. It was great to see an Aquila Orion 1, 2, 3, 4 tonight. So always great to work with Elvis, Mike, Travis on setup during the week, and see what their pace is like. I'd like to give a big shout out to the league admins, Kevin, Jeff, for all the hard work and dedication they put in to the series. I'd like to give a shout out to you guys in the broadcast room, Apex Racing TV. You guys put on a great show every Monday. And lastly, just a shout out to all my friends and my family that are all watching the stream here at home.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Cameron, and hello to Team Martineau watching on the broadcast as well. Cameron, thanks so much for coming and joining us in the interview room, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
That was Cameron Martineau, and finally we have our second place runner in TCR, Andrew List, who is with Austin Knight.
Andrew, it was a very good day all the way up until the very final moments where an unfortunate unavoidable incident happened to you and gave you massive damage at the end of the race. Any thoughts about that?
I think it was just a racing incident. I mean, in the last couple of laps, last kind of 3/4 of, or well, not 3/4, 1/4 of the end of the race. I mean, the TCRs were pretty competitive with the mid-pack GT4 cars. So, I mean, we were sticking with them pretty good. And, I mean, he made a mistake in front of me, and obviously you're going up a hill, there's nowhere to go, and kind of hit him in the back. And then, yeah, just kind of turned down on me. We had a little incident. I spun him out. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I had to go, I had to keep my foot in it because Brandon was right behind me. We were battling for the lead, and yeah, just got caught up in some unnecessary stuff. But I mean, it's racing at the end of the day, so we'll move on to the next round. No hard feelings on anything that happened.
Well, that's good to hear. You were definitely quicker, well, on the pace with some of the GT4s. In fact, you had a massive GT4 train behind you that was about 5 cars deep, and you were battling for the lead. And you used that battle and some of the GT4s as a little bit of a pick and as defensive materials against Brandon Whitworth, and you had a bit of a gap. But when those GT4s got past you, Brandon Whitworth started to close in. Did you know what Brandon's pace, or were you just looking after your own tires at that point?
Yeah, I had a good feeling that Brandon was kind of getting on me a little bit, especially since the lead car, that GT4, and me were kind of battling. I think it was Jennifer, and I was trying to let her by on the straight, but in that turn 1, they just can't carry as much speed through there as we can, and I was able to hold it on the outside, and it was like, at that point it's kind of like, sorry, not sorry, but you kind of have to watch out for number 1. And I wish that they could build up or cut down the gap a little bit so they could get by on the straight. And I think I made a mistake, and that's when she got through, and I think somebody else got through. And at that point, I was just like, here we go. So I knew after one got through, I knew the rest of them were going to be kind of itched to dive into turn 1, and a few of them, they did kind of throw it up the inside, and I was just trying to watch out for myself at that point, and then ended up getting back there with Brandon, and then yeah, the rest is kind of history.
Well, it is a podium finish for you today. Last question. We noticed in the braking zone you were wiggling around a lot, and this car does have ABS, but it's just like a toggle on and off. Do you use the ABS in this car, or do you just have it off and just use the brake bias?
No, we actually do have the ABS on in this car. There's actually a brake valve with also the brake bias. So basically, brake valve allows you to change the pressure on the rear brake without changing the actual brake bias. It's this really weird thing that this car has. So through the whole run, you're kind of messing with that brake valve and trying to find a good kind of sweet spot, because you do kind of try to trail brake in there to get your back end to kind of swing around into some of these turns. So you pretty much steer with the brake, and it's kind of the opposite of what you do with a rear wheel drive car. You're kind of steering and kind of finding that little bit of extra angle of attack on each of these corners. So yeah, I was just messing around with it, and a few times I went a little bit over, but until you go over, you don't know what the limit is. So you're pretty much on the steering wheel going up. It doesn't work for this corner. Maybe I'll bump it back a little bit.
I want to start calling you the mad scientist, because that is just absolutely crazy that you're doing all this calculations going on right there. Well, Andrew, it's another podium finish for you here today for the Sports Car Series. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys. You guys put on an awesome broadcast. Ricmotech, Texas Performance Graphics, they're one of our lead sponsors. Nick's Dog Treats, all the guys back at D2D. At the end of the day, Brandon, Eric, Bobby, and I, we're all friends, and we all try to push each other. So Brandon was definitely pushing me today, and he definitely deserved that top spot.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew, and hopefully next time by it's a better result for you.
I know, it's 4 in a row. 4 in a row. It's like, always a bridesmaid, never a bride type of thing with me.
All right. Well, hopefully you catch the flowers soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And on to Peter McKay.
So that was Andrew List. Let's hope he gets that win, because he has He deserves it, that's for sure, after a string of second place finishes. So, that's nearly all we have time for here on the iRacing Esports Network. But you don't have to wait long for more action here in the Ricmotech paddock. Monday night is Ricmotech night. Next up for us here in the Ricmotech paddock is our GT Challenge Series, GTLM cars and GT3. And that is at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Same time next week. In 2 weeks' time, we go again to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for our classic sprint series. You'll see the big Mustangs letting all those ponies fly, and also I'm sure, what will be a fantastic drafting battle between the Miatas. And then finally, on the 2nd of November, we're back again with the Sports Car Series at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park as well. So very much a Canadian flavour to the next 3 weeks here. So please do tune in with us then, and we'll see you next time here in the Ricmotech series.